Hello, hockey fans. Austin here with the Rookie Showcase recap from this past weekend where the Oilers lost 6-5 in Game 1 on Friday, and then they lost 5-4 yesterday, which was Sunday night. Now, my apologies for not being able to do a live stream for the game last night. Unfortunately, came across some internet troubles, but at the end of the day, it is just a Rookie Showcase. I will make sure that everything is good to go tech-wise for the regular season and actually preseason, which starts a little bit later this week. So if you enjoyed today's video, make sure to hit that like button. And if you really like it, make sure to subscribe to the channel. Today's video going to be pretty formal, pretty straightforward. I'm just going to talk about some of the players who I thought had a great showing in the Rookie Showcase, some of the players who I thought had a good showing, and then a few players that I thought had a not so good. Notice how I'm not using the word bad though, right? This is a Rookie Showcase. We are not going to, lose our minds over certain performances in a Rookie Showcase, especially for certain players. A guy like Ike Howard or Isaac Howard, of course, that's a player that there's a lot of scrutiny towards right now. But at the end of the day, we have to remember who Ike Howard will likely get to play with when it comes to his line mates. In a Rookie Showcase, I know you want to make the best of the opportunity. You got to, elevate your teammates around you, especially if you're hoping to be an NHL player. And for Ike Howard, this is a player that I know will be an NHL player one day, but we'll have to see how he does in preseason, in main training camp. He's also late, right? There's a lot of talk with Ike Howard right now, but he was also a week and a half late to the festivities in terms of captain skates, getting ready with the rest of the other rookies. Ike Howard, of course, he was the Oilers representative at the NHLPA NHL orientation thing that they did recently. So Ike Howard, he's just a step behind right now in terms of when he was able to arrive to Edmonton, how much he's been able to work with our coaches, how much he's been able to play with his line mates. I'm not concerned about Ike Howard, but we are going to talk, I wouldn't say super in-depth, but we are going to talk about him, right? I think that's a player that a lot of us want to know more about and know how he did this weekend and what it means moving forward. We're also going to talk about Matthew Savoy, who I thought had a terrific showing. And there's a couple other players that I do want to mention. So let's just jump right into it, folks. Let's get into the Rookie Showcase recap. Now, Game 1, like I mentioned, it was a 6-5 loss. Game 2, a 5-4 loss. And last year, 1 goal scored in 3 games. Now, remember, these Rookie Showcases used to take place in Penticton, where you'd have a little mini tournament between the Oilers rookies, the Jets rookies, Flames, and Canucks. Last year, the Oilers in 3 games, they scored 1 goal, 1 measly goal in 3 rookie games. This year, they scored 9 in 2 games. So, you know what? I like that. I like that they're able to put the puck in the net. I think that's a good sign that the team has a bit of finish right now, and that some of these younger players who might not have had a great camp last year were able to come in and have a good camp this time. Now, let's talk about the grade. Which players really stood out in terms of offensive ability or were able to, elevate their teammates? Number 1, of course, Matthew Savoy. Matthew Savoy, this is a player that is NHL ready. He should be a lock on this NHL roster, and I would really hope that he's a lock for top 6 minutes as well. Of course, there's a full training camp to go. There's a preseason to go. How many preseason games he gets, we don't know yet. But for Matthew Savoy, he has shown that he is on a bit of a mission right now, that he does not want to go to Bakersfield to start the season. Is it the end of the world if he does start the year in Bakersfield? Of course not. Look at what happened to Leon Draisaitl when he was younger. Leon Draisaitl in his rookie year made the team out of camp, played about 30-some games, didn't get to go represent Germany at the World Juniors. Then the team sent him to the AHL. And then in his second season with the Oilers, he started the year. Yes, he started the year in the AHL. He started the year in Bakersfield. He was very pissed off about it, and he played his way back up to the NHL roster immediately, and he never looked back. Do I think Matthew Savoy is a player type to, put up the numbers that Draisaitl does? No, they're 2 completely different style of players. But for Matthew Savoy, he has clearly shown, at least early so far, that he does not want to go to the AHL, that he is an NHL player. And he really was a step above the rest of this group, in my opinion. I thought Matthew Savoy, the way he carried the puck, the way he's able to find teammates, the way he shoots the puck and where he's shooting the puck from, catching goaltenders off guard, Matthew Savoy probably could have had about 10 to 15 points this weekend if he had NHL caliber line mates, in my opinion, and that's no disrespect to the rest of the Oilers roster. Next up, of course, who I thought had a very good showing was Viljami Marjala, who the Oilers picked up, I believe was a Buffalo Sabres draft pick, played in the Finnish league or over in Finland. Now, there was a couple of viewers who have seen him play live, have been very high on him. This is a player that will be very interesting to watch as camp moves forward. I am curious to see him in a couple preseason games. I want to know what he does with NHL talent, because this is a player that seems to be very sneaky. He gets into scoring areas. He's good with his feet, very good like on ice IQ. He knows where he's supposed to be. He's not making a lot of mistakes. And when it comes to driving offense, he is able to keep pucks alive. He's able to find teammates on the rush. He's able to keep cycles going. And defensively, he's also very responsible. A very interesting player, very under the radar player. This is a player that I hadn't really heard of, had never really seen anything about him until this rookie showcase. And then a couple of you viewers at home told me, hey, go back, watch some of his highlights from Finland, and let me know what you think. And I'm going to let you know right now, Marjala, bit of a dark horse here. I don't think he's going to be an NHL player this year, but this is a player to watch long-term, in my opinion. This is a very interesting player. And then, of course, the last great player that I want to mention is Tommy Lafreniere. So Lafreniere, he was the Oilers' first draft pick of the most recent draft. He was a third rounder. So in 2025, which was this year, he was 83rd overall. We'll just quickly take a look at his Hockey DB page. Played on the Kamloops Blazers this season, had 24 goals, 56 points. Now, he's a minus 33, but we're not going to worry about that. Kamloops did not have a good year. That is not a reflection on Tommy Lafreniere. But this is a player who, I mean, man, he can shoot the puck, right? And he's fast, good on his feet, good two-way play. Tommy Lafreniere, this is another interesting player. Now, I don't know who the heck was scouting this kid. This is, again, another player that I knew very little of, even from draft day when the team picked him and people were talking about him. This is a player that I just haven't seen a lot of, right? Not a lot of exposure, but Tommy Lafreniere, he had a couple goals yesterday, and he had a few points in this tournament. I thought he looked great. Tommy Lafreniere, another player to look out for. Really like his game. Real solid player there. And of course, he will be going back to Kamloops this season. He is not going to be pushing for the NHL roster spot this year. He will be going back to Kamloops, and he will be playing in the WHL. So that is a player that I am going to personally be keeping an eye on, living in Western Canada. That is a player that I can keep an eye on, at least fairly locally here in Western Canada. So I will probably do updates on Tommy Lafreniere throughout the season, especially if he continues to play as well as he did in this rookie showcase. Now let's move on to the good. Which players were good? Not great, but had a good showing. Now, why is Connor Clattenburg not in the great showing? Well, Connor Clattenburg, this is a player with a ton of heart, a ton of tenacity, a ton of grit. I like how he steps up for his teammates. I like how he drops the gloves. That is something that, a lot of the league and a lot of hockey players are moving away from. A lot of teams are moving away from that physical side, that mean side. We've seen the NHL move away from fighting for years and years now. Connor Clattenburg is a different type of hockey player. He's a different breed of player. Not everyone is going to appreciate what he does. What he's able to do, though, is make sure that if you are touching or going after the more skilled players on your team, and it doesn't even have to be a skilled player. I'm just referencing the fact that last night, Savoy took a big hit from Meso Phillips, one of the big defenders for the Calgary Flames. Meso Phillips is literally like 6'7". He's an absolute monster on his feet. Now, Connor Clattenburg, after Phillips hit Savoy, Clattenburg had a few words with him. And then a few shifts later, Clattenburg absolutely flattened Meso Phillips. And Connor Clattenburg is not a big guy. Like, he's big, but he's not nearly as big as Meso Phillips. We're going to take a quick look at Connor Clattenburg here. He's listed as 6'2", 205 pounds. Now, Meso Phillips, I mean, that's a big kid. And the fact that Clattenburg is not afraid to go after those bigger players, those bigger players that are trying to bully his teammates, Connor Clattenburg is going to step up for his teammates every single time. He also has a bit of a scoring touch. He had a couple goals, I believe, in this rookie showcase. He had one goal for sure. I can't remember if he scored yesterday for some reason. In any case, Connor Clattenburg, where's the issue here? Why was he not in the grade? Connor Clattenburg, he just gets caught chasing a little bit the hit, right? I think he's just out of position sometimes when he's trying to lay a hit. And that's something that you can work on with the coaches. And I think his two-way play, sometimes his puck possession isn't always amazing. I think he's just trying to do a little bit too much. His brain's working faster than his hands, in my opinion. And Connor Clattenburg, this is a player that I could see being on the fourth line in a year or two for Edmonton. This is a player that I think for sure is going to push and show the coaches that he's willing to do whatever it takes to be on this team long term. And for Connor Clattenburg, he will be a fan favorite. I mean, he's already a fan favorite from a rookie showcase. We saw a little bit of that grit last year in the rookie tournament from Clattenburg. He got involved physically. I think he had a fight as well in that tournament in Penticton. And of course, he had over 100 penalty minutes with Flint, the Flint Firebirds last season. So Connor Clattenburg, we'll see how he does moving forward. Of course, he will likely be in Bakersfield. He'll get a bit of seasoning down there. Curious to see how he plays against men, right? He's been playing against teenagers, obviously, throughout his career. He's only 20 years old. This is going to be his first year as, a pro in quotation marks. Very curious to see how he does in Bakersfield this year. Don't be surprised to see him as a call-up option mid-season as well. If the team's looking for a different dynamic, I know Chris Knobloch isn't always involved in the physical side or the tough side or the mean side of the game. Connor Clattenburg, though, that is a player that is just pure heart and soul, does what he's asked, can penalty kill, and he can lay the body and protect teammates. So love that from Clattenburg. He's just got to work on his play away from the puck and try not to chase too many hits. But Connor Clattenburg, that's a player right there. That is an old school player. Next up, we have Rhett Pitlick. I thought he had a good showing for Edmonton. Didn't show up on the score sheet a whole ton, but he drew a couple penalties, and he's a shot-first guy. He was just ripping the puck. Anytime he had the puck in the offensive zone, he was throwing it towards the net. I really like that from Rhett Pitlick. This is another player where long-term, not sure what the fit is in terms of NHL caliber, but I liked that he had a good showing. I liked that he was moving his feet, and by moving your feet, you draw penalties. And he was very good with puck possession. I think Rhett Pitlick deserved a little bit more in terms of, offensive reward, right? I think he deserved a couple goals, couple of assists, but Rhett Pitlick, another under the radar player, had a really good showing. And then the other good player who I thought was good, again, not great, but good, Josh Szymanski. Szymanski's a player that long-term could be an NHLer, maybe third-line center. We'll have to see how he develops coming over from Germany. Now, Szymanski, I thought in the first game, looked pretty good. I thought he was solid. He did start on a line with Matthew Savoy, and then later in the game, Mariala bumped up to that top line. Szymanski came down to the second line, and then same thing in the second game. Szymanski got the second-line duties, and I liked his play. I thought he was very responsible away from the puck. I thought he had a couple of good shots on net. That's a player to, again, we're keeping an eye on them. These are rookies. We're not overanalyzing, but these are players that I at least want the viewers at home to as well. Just kind of go back, look at the highlights, and we'll keep an eye on them. We'll see how they turn out in the future. Now, the not so okay. Now, this doesn't mean that they were bad, and there are reasons for why they were not so okay, and you're going to recognize all three of these names because they are all three names that have been prominently mentioned in the Oilers community here. Number one, Ike Howard, already kind of talked about him, had the late start arriving in camp because of the NHLPA orientation that he was part of, and for Ike Howard as well, the big thing for him is, and again, this is no disrespect to who I'm about to compare him to, because I liked Nail Yakupov, and a lot of you are going to start freaking out. Nail Yakupov, uh-oh. Listen, Ike Howard is a player with all-world talent, tons of skill. He can shoot the puck. He's a good skater, good on ice instincts. But what Ike Howard was doing this past weekend was he was just trying to do too much. And by trying to do too much, you end up doing too little. There's a lot of feet moving and a lot of hands and bodies jittering on the ice, but there's not a whole lot of anything else happening with Ike Howard. Again, he was late to camp. We're going to let him work with the coaches. We'll let him get, acclimated to main training camp. He's going to get to play with some NHL caliber line mates in preseason. We're not concerned about Ike Howard, but I did want to, make the Nail Yakupov comparison. He's just a little jittery. You just got to slow down a little bit. Slow down, look for that play, make the right pass, shoot the puck in a good spot. Last night, I think Ike Howard, I think the thing that really defined his weekend was the Oilers were down by a goal. They had the net pulled with under a minute left, and he's dipsying and doodling all through his own zone into the neutral zone. Oh, giveaway at center. We're lucky that Calgary did not put that puck into the empty net. Ike Howard, when you get to the red line, my man, Sometimes simple hockey's the best play. If you don't got a pass, right, and you're not going to be able to skate through everyone, especially at the NHL level, just dump that puck, brother. Just dump that puck in deep. Let Savoy go. Savoy's got the foot speed, man. Let him go in on the forecheck. Let him grab that puck. Let him cycle, get it back to you, get into a scoring position and shoot it, all right? Ike Howard, he's going to be fine. Obviously, it was a disappointing showing considering where he thinks he is in his development, where a lot of scouts see him, where a lot of pundits see him in the future. He will be an NHL player, but he does have to work on his game away from the puck, and he's just got to simplify his game when he has it. Now, the next player I want to talk about, and again, it's not really fair to pick on a goalie for a one-game sample size, but Sam Jansson, who came over from Sweden this past season. Now, he played great in Sweden, right? But again, it's a totally different game overseas compared to North America. The ice here is smaller. The speed of the game is a little bit faster. And for Jansson, the biggest thing for him that I was concerned about was just his movement in the crease, right? I know goaltenders these days, there's not a lot of athleticism, right? You don't get those Dominic Hasek type goalies anymore. The Marc-Andre Fleury's, the goalies that can really slide around their crease, that lateral movement, that old school lateral movement where they're doing the splits and all the crazy kind of body contortions. We're not looking for that, right? These goalies nowadays, they're big, they're very tactical, they stand in the crease, and it's just all about cutting the angle. Right? It's just about cutting the angle, and then the puck will usually hit you. You play your percentages. Sam Jansson, though, again, a big goalie, and a lot of these big goalies make themselves look small sometimes. Sam Jansson was making himself look pretty small, and a couple of the goals that he gave up, just the lack of lateral movement. We see it with Stu Skinner. I don't want to see it with other goalies in this system. Hopefully, the Oilers system in the AHL, if Jansson goes back overseas, whoever he ends up working with in terms of his goaltending and development, I really hope that they help these goaltenders. And this includes the NHL roster too, right? I'm putting Stu in here as well. Lateral movement, right? We want to be a little bit more athletic. We want to be able to move around in that crease a little bit. There's nothing wrong with being able to move and slide around, as long as you're not sliding out of position, right? So for Sam Jansson, yeah, he gave up 4 goals. He couldn't even finish his first game because of cramping issues. We'll see how he does in main camp. Very curious about this goaltender. I think 1 game sample size, nothing to worry about, but we will keep an eye on him moving forward. And then number 3, not so okay. If I had this is going to sound really harsh. If I had a bad category, Bo Akey would have been in the bad category. Now, I thought his first game on Friday was okay. I thought he wasn't terrible, but he wasn't great. I thought on the power play, he was just kind of trying to do too much. He wasn't really finding guys for passes. He wasn't getting shots on net. The second game is where I was more concerned. And I don't know if it's a fitness thing because of how many injuries he's had lately. I don't know what the case is with Bo Akey, but he looked slow in the game last night against Calgary, and he looked like he just didn't want to be there. It's tough to say because he wants to be there. He's trying. They're all trying, man. All of these players are trying. But Bo Akey, he looked like he was playing beer league hockey on a Monday night at 11 p.m. That's what he looked like to me. And for Bo Akey, this is a player that was at one point, not like super highly touted. He's not a blue chip prospect by any means, but this is a player that I think was tracking to be an NHLer for sure within 3 or 4 years from his draft year. Last couple seasons, dealt with a lot of injuries. He's going to play in the AHL. We'll see how he does down there. But at the end of the day, Bo Akey, I don't know. I don't know what the word is, right? It's not like he's not trying. I think the comparison here, and again, no disrespect to Bo Akey, no disrespect to Evan Bouchard, who I'm about to mention, is I think just these offensively minded right shot D-men, for some reason, they just look like they don't care sometimes. I don't know what it is. I don't know if it's just the way the cameras are on them. Sometimes they just look lazy, even though they're not being lazy. But at the end of the day, those are my thoughts on the Rookie Showcase. The first preseason game for your Edmonton Oilers. It is a split squad against the Calgary Flames on Sunday, September 21st. Sorry, my apologies. It will be a split squad game. There will be a team in Edmonton, a team in Calgary. And what is my coverage going to look like for that? Well, leading up to it, I will be doing daily updates from, training camp. Obviously, I'm not interviewing the players, but I will be talking about different things that we're seeing, talk about different players, their interviews, and of course, whatever the lines end up looking like. I am curious to see what the coaches do this week because main training camp opens this week, and we are all very eagerly awaiting Connor McDavid's extension. So hopefully that gets done sometime this week, maybe next week at the latest. I'd like to get it done before these preseason games start, but at the end of the day, we'll just have to be patient in oil country and get ready for main camp here. I'm very, very thankful and very, very appreciative of the support from the Rookie Showcase on the channel, the pregame reports that I did, the live stream that I did on Friday. Oh my goodness, the viewership was insane. So you all deserve much love and just the biggest kudos to the best fans on the planet. All right. We will see you very soon. Daily Oilers content, as always. Make sure to hit that like button. Make sure to subscribe if you're not yet subscribed, and tell someone that you love them. All right. Fight like a kid. Fight like Ben. Let's go Oilers. We'll see you tomorrow in the next video. Take care, everyone. Now, thank you to the current channel members, whether you are VIP or a locker room. Thank you to Christy, Nick, Justin, Canadian Ginger, Charles, Epiphany, Maddie Brinks, I'm Just Him, Hannah, Lola, Fleecy U, Danny, Hybrid Hunter, Hab3436, Crux Deluxe, Wayne, Jacob, Hypnotize Mind, and Bubsy. Now, I do know that I did gift 10 memberships on Friday. I will update the membership list for the next video with the 10 members that got one. So thank you all so much. We'll see you soon. Take care.